Hello! Greetings mga ka-spacers natin out there from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And sa lahat ng ating mga ka-spacers na nakatutok po ngayon worldwide and netwide, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. At nag-live po ko ngayong araw na ito, May 4, 2022 para po ipakita sa inyo ang ating araw with sunspots. So my telescope mga ka-spacers is pointing at our sun with sunspots. Today is May 4, 2022. So join me in the next 20 minutes as we observe the sun through the lenses of my telescope. And ito po yung telescope na ginamit ko for our solar imaging today. So that is a Vixen 80mm refracting telescope, and kung mapapansin po ninyo dun sa taas po niya ay may nakakabit na pa-other solar filter. So that solar filter will allow me to observe the sun safely without damaging my eyes. And again po mga ka-spacers, do not observe the sun directly. Dapat meron tayong protection, like ito po yung telescope ko ay may nakakabit na pa-other solar filter. Alright, and kung mapapansin po ninyo ay talagang marami na namang sunspots ang ma-observe po natin ngayon. Alright, and these sunspots are cooler areas on the surface of the sun. And this is due to disturbances in the sun's magnetic field. So technically mga ka-spacers, ang mga sunspots na ito are magnetic storms. Alright, and again, sunspots are areas on the sun's surface that are relatively cooler and appear dark than the surrounding photosphere. So yung itong puting bilog na nakikita nyo ngayon sa ating solar image, that's the visible surface of the sun or yung photosphere. So itong mga sunspots na ito, they are cooler and darker. They appear dark than the surrounding photosphere. These patches, itong mga sunspots na ito ay malalaki pa. They are roughly the size of the Earth. Yung iba naman, like ito yung mga nakikita natin ngayon, they are about 20 to 40 times larger than the Earth. So mas malaki pa ho yung mga yan sa mundo natin. So isn't that fascinating mga ka-spacers? And for the past several weeks now, marami tayong mga sunspots na na-observe, and talagang for the past several weeks inoobserbahan ko itong mga sunspots na ito. Again, because we are entering the so-called solar maximum. So this is the solar maximum phase of the sun's or solar cycle, where there will be an expected increase in solar activity, like frequent solar flares and increased number of sunspots. So kung nababasa niyo po sa Facebook, marami tayong nakikitang mga recorded solar flares lately. Alright po, so ito na yun yung magnified image of our sun. Ayan po, so makikita nyo yung darker central region called the umbra. Ayan po. And the lighter outer section called the penumbra. Ayan, kitang-kita po at napakaganda po ng image na binibigay ng ating telescope. Ayan, napakalinaw po. So nakikita nyo po yung darker central region of the sunspot called the umbra, and the lighter outer section called the penumbra. Ayan po, dalawang malaking grupo to ng sunspots, ito. And ito din to, itong malaki na ito, malaking pa yan po sa mundo natin. And these sunspots are cooler and darker regions of the sun. Alright, so napaka-amazing po, Alright. And papunta na po tayo sa solar max. Alright, so kung tatanungin po natin bakit kaya ang mga sunspots na ito ay relatively cool. Now again mga ka-spacers, they are cooled and darker as compared to the surrounding photosphere because they form at areas where magnetic fields are particularly strong. And these magnetic fields are so strong that they keep some of the heat within the sun from reaching the surface. Ayan po. So kaya sila darker and cooler as compared to the surrounding photosphere. Alright po. So very fascinating po, no, pag kaya po nag-live ako ngayon dahil ako namamangha, no? Kahit na ilang linggo ko na itong inoobserbahan, talagang marami pa ring sunspots po. And hindi lang marami, malalaki yung mga sunspots na na-observe po natin lately. Lalo na to, no? Isang grupo to na yung malaking sunspot na yun. Then you have smaller sunspots na parang nakabuntot po sa kanya. Alright, so if you're fascinated by what you are observing right now, just feel free to type in your comments or your reactions po in our comment section below. Ayan po na, I'm now scanning the surface of the sun. Baka meron pa hong sunspots. Ayan, ito, malaking sunspot ito. No, talagang kitang-kita po yung darker central region niya called the umbra and the lighter outer section called the penumbra. Ito po malapit dun sa edge po ng sun. Isa pang malaking sunspot ito. Alright. So those are the sunspots observed today, May 4, 2022. Alright. So ayan po, I'm trying to look, baka may mga solar prominences, no? Kaya lang baka itong Baader solar filter ko baka it limits, no, yung observation ko ng solar prominences. Baka kailangan ng special filter for that. Alright, itong filter ko ay ordinary Baader solar filter. Okay, so those are the sunspots observed. Yan, ito binalik ko po dito sa grupo na ito na malalaking sunspots. Ito yung malaki and you have several smaller sunspots dun sa paligid niya. Ayan, pero again, no, kitang-kita yung umbra at saka yung penumbra niya. Alright, so really fascinating indeed. Kaya ako nag-live po ngayon dahil ako namamangha pa rin talaga. Ayan. Again, itong mga sunspots na ito malalaki pa ito, no, kaysa sa mundo natin. They are much bigger than our planet. And these are magnetic storms. Alright. Okay, so these sunspots again are darker and cooler areas on the sun's surface that arise due to the disturbances in the sun's magnetic field. So mga magnetic storms po ito, mga ka-spacers. And again, we have been observing the sun for the past several weeks now because we are entering the solar maximum phase of its current solar cycle. So expected na po natin that there will be increase in solar activity like frequent solar flares and increased number of sunspots. Alright, so those are the sunspots na na-observe po natin. That's our magnified image of the sun. Today is May 4, 2022. Alright, before we continue, yung mga nakamiss mo dun sa magnified image ng ating araw, we will magnify the image of the sun in a few minutes. And again mga ka-spacers, no, mga ilang linggo ko na rin to inoobserbahan. Sunspots form over periods lasting from days to even weeks and can persist for weeks or even months before dissipating. The average number of spots visible on the face of the sun is not constant, but it varies in a multi-year cycle. And ito po ngayon, we are entering the so-called solar max. So we expect increase in the number of sunspots. Alright, and ang tanong po ngayon, ano ba ang epekto nito sa mundo natin? And lagi itong sinasabi mga ka-spacers every time I conduct this online telescope viewing of our sun, that sunspots are caused again by disturbances in the sun's magnetic field welling up to the photosphere. The sun's visible surface, ayan po yung photosphere. The powerful magnetic field in the vicinity of sunspots produce active regions on the sun's, which in turn frequently spawn disturbances like solar flares and even coronal mass ejections po. So ano ba itong mga coronal mass ejections or CMEs? Now, coronal mass ejections mga ka-spacers, they are powerful eruptions near the surface of the sun driven by kinks in the solar magnetic field. The resulting shock wave ripples through the solar system and nakaka-apekto po yan sa ating ionosphere. The ionosphere is part of the Earth's thermosphere, yung layer po ng ating atmosphere yan. And the ionosphere is composed of electrically charged particles. So pag dumaan po, pag nakarating to mga coronal mass ejections and even solar flares, it can interrupt satellite communications and power grids here on Earth. Alright, so again mga ka-spacers, if sunspots are active, more solar flares will result, creating an increase in geomagnetic storm activity here on Earth. So therefore, during sunspot maximum, the Earth will see an increase in the northern and southern lights, ito yung mga auroras, and disruption in radio transmissions and power grids. Alright po, so yun po yung effect niyan, no? Pag dumadami po yung mga sunspots and increase solar activity, nakaka-apekto po yan dito sa mundo natin. Right, especially dun sa ionosphere. So we would expect increase in the appearance of auroras and increased solar activity like yung flares and even coronal mass ejections that may interrupt satellite communication and power grids. Alright po. So bago po natin i-magnify ulit yung image ng ating araw, shoutout po doon sa mga nakatutok po ngayong hapon na ito. And shoutout po sa mga officers ko ng Vedan Society of Young Astronomers and sa mga volunteers ko sa Skywatcher Society of Las Piñas. Alright, so ito, here is the magnified image of the sun. And ito po yung mga sunspots na makikita po natin ngayon. Alright, today is May 4, 2022. Ayan po, no? So kitang-kita po yung umbra. That's the central dark region ng sunspot. And yung lighter outer section called the penumbra. Ayan, isang grupo to ng mga sunspots, no? May malaki and may mga maliliit. Pero yung malaki na yan, mas malaki pa yan po sa mundo natin. Yan, meron ito. Isa pang sunspot ito. Again, with the umbra, yung darker central region, and the penumbra, yung lighter outer section niya. Alright. And yan, panalik natin yan doon. Yung sunspot na yan. And itong mga sunspots ulit mga ka-spacers, no, these are magnetic storms. Alright. So they are areas on the sun's photosphere that are cooler and they appear darker, ayan, than its surrounding photosphere. Okay, and palapit na po tayo sa solar max. Ayan, they appear darker and cooler on the surface of the sun, and this is due to disturbances in the sun's magnetic field. Alright, and again, they are cooler and darker than the surrounding photosphere because they form at areas where the magnetic fields are particularly strong. And these magnetic fields, mga ka-spacers, are so strong that they keep some of the heat within the sun from reaching the surface or the photosphere. Kaya they appear darker. They keep some of the heat and they are cooler. They keep some of the heat, yung strong magnetic field na yan. It keeps some of the heat within the sun from reaching the surface or the photosphere. Fascinating, no, mga ka-spacers. So if you're fascinated by what you're seeing right now, please type in your reactions or your comments in our comment section below. Okay. And po, we are scanning the surface of the sun. Baka meron pa tayo makita kahit ng maliliit na sunspots. And ito, may isa pang malaki to. Actually, malaking sunspot ito. Yan, malapit dun sa edge ng ating solar image. Yan, sana naman na makakita ako ng solar prominence. Ayan, alright. Okay, and ito po yung telescope na ginamit ko na, that's a Vixen. Ito po yung nasa taas. That's a Vixen 80mm refracting telescope with a 15mm Plossil eyepiece. And kung mapapansin po ninyo doon sa taas ay may nakakabit na solar filter. That's a Baader solar filter, and that will allow me to observe the sun safely without damaging my eyes. Ayan, so kailangan po natin yan, no? So again, paalala, never observe the sun directly. Masisira po ang ating mga mata. Alright, like what happened to Galileo. Actually, it was Galileo who first observed these sunspots. Kaya lang yung telescope po niya walang filter, no? Kaya nasira po yung mata ni Galileo. Alright, so wag nating gayahin si Galileo, mga ka-spacers. So never observe the sun directly. So kailangan po natin ng protection like this Baader solar filter. Alright. Okay, so there are several methods of observing the sun and may video po ko niyan. So just check out my video observing the sun sa Facebook page po ng Skywatcher Society of Las Piñas. And meron din po ko yung video ko niyan ng observing the sun ay nasa Vedan Society of Young Astronomers. And also check out my YouTube channel, The Science Guy, Professor Jun Cajigal. Nandyan din po yung video na yan on observing the sun. Alright, so that's our magnified image of our sun with sunspots. Today is May 4, 2022. Ayan po, so talagang nag-live po ko yun dahil talagang namangha po ko nung nakita ko to kanina. Actually, I recorded this kaninang umaga po, mga 10:30 po ng umaga. So hindi ko po natiis, talagang ako'y namamangha. Sinasamantala ko yung pagkakataon kasi next month, June na ho eh. Tag-ulan na ho. Magtatag-ulan na, no? Naparating na rin yung habagat season. So baka hindi na natin maobserbahan yung araw ng ganyang kalinaw. So clear skies ngayong araw na ito, no? Walang kaulap-ulap. Ayan, so clear po yung ating solar imaging ngayong araw na ito. Alright, so siguro hanggang dito na lang po tayo, and bago po tayo magtapos, mga ka-spacers, ipopromote ko lang po yung episode 5 ng Cosmo Quest this coming Saturday, May 7, 2022 at 8 o'clock. So ang episode 5 po, we will be focusing on astrobiology. No, is there life beyond Earth? So itong episode 5 na ito, mga ka-spacers, we will be focusing on how life on Earth started. Ayan, alright. So itong month of May will be astrobiology series po ng Cosmo Quest. Lahat po ng Saturdays ng May, yan, dedicated po yan sa astrobiology. Alright, so antabayanan nyo po yan this coming Saturday. And meron din po kaming event at Robinson's Las Piñas. There will be a free public telescope viewing at Robinson's Place, Las Piñas on May 6 and 7, Friday and Saturday po yan. Alright, and all safety protocols will be observed na disinfect po yung mga telescopes namin, and meron po kaming mga alcohol, disinfectant, and talagang we observe social distancing. Ayan, alright, so sinasamantala panahon namin hanggat pwede pa, no? Para makita nyo naman po yung ganda ng kalawakan through the eyepiece of the telescope at hindi yung ganitong online telescope viewing. Alright po, so ayan po yung aming event this coming May 6 and May 7 at Robinson's Place, Las Piñas. Alright, come and see the moon. Ayan po yung aming the title of our event, come and see the moon. Alright, so yung mga taga Las Piñeros dyan na malapit sa Robinsons, just drop by May 6 and 7, 6 p.m. onwards. Alright po, so marami pong salamat sa inyong pagtutok sa ating online telescope viewing of our sun, and sana po namangha po kayo at sana na-inspire po kayo to love the sciences, especially astronomy. Alright po, so this is your Kaspacer and Space Commander, Professor Jun Cajigal, saying live long and prosper. Alright, and always remember mga ka-spacers to always keep your space.